Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Cancer Bike Rally. Tonight we need to approve the extension. We voted to have it on the 25th, but they're actually going to be here on the 24th and 26th for setup and breakdown. So we need to vote on that tonight to allow them to have that time. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. And we also need to authorize me to sign the landlord authorization form for the event. All right, any questions on that? Discussion? Announcements? All right, let's get to it.
Just a little sidebar, our attorney has put in an additional paragraph into the landlord authorization form. This form is for the New York State Liquor Authority. It really, it's a wonderful event, but it disturbed me that all of a sudden I saw a little diagram about a beer tent, and it hadn't been discussed in either the Chamber of Commerce or here. They have run their protocols by the Liquor Authority. It does sound like they have had a lot of experience and handle it professionally. So to that extent, I'm not as upset as I was before.
This is, I can't do it. So small.
Beer and wine. Well,
Wait, are we still gonna go with the condition that they hire security, which will be our
police.
people, or police? It has to be.
I would prefer that because they're talking about security at the entrances of the main area. But they also were talking about volunteers as monitors, about
Right.
making sure that no one without one of
Usually
these
events like that,
wristbands.
security is just volunteers,
Yeah.
which is not real security.
Well, no, they were talking at the two gates having real security,
Okay.
but
Do you want
as far as the
I'd say-
monitors go,
Yeah.
a part-time officer, and,
Either,
you know what I
whatever.
mean?
Yeah.
And saddle with the cost of an officer, I'm sorry.
They were at the town board meeting last week or 2 weeks ago, and they're paying the town $50 an hour for 2 officers for 7 hours each, I think it was.
Okay, then we'll do something
That's it.
similar.
Yeah.
No,
Or do we
I don't
need to
think
do it at
so.
all? Because if they're doing it,
I find that interesting that they
Yeah.
don't pay the
Maybe.
town when it's in the village.
they
I think
don't
we'll discuss
realize
that.
the
Yeah.
difference. I
Yeah,
think.
that just blows my mind.
I think
Yes.
what they're doing is paying the town to do the blocking of the roads along the bike route. They're not paying for them in the village, they're paying for them on the roads, I believe.
okay.
But the point is they're paying them.
Right.
Yeah, okay, then it wouldn't be an unusual request for us to
No.
ask for a couple
Yeah.
part-timers to manage the site up there at the municipal lot.
At the same rate, $50 an hour.
That's what they proved.
That's what they came up with, the
Security
overtime
with
and
the
the
hundreds of
benefits.
people that are gonna be
That
here.
doesn't cover part-timer or
Yeah.
overtime.
50
Well,
an
no,
hour.
if they're doing $50 an hour, it's $50 an hour.
Yeah,
But
but-
it doesn't go, it's not contractual really, it's just they're using our officer.
Yeah,
No, that doesn't go direct to the officer. It's like when we do the escorting. They pay us this much money. If it only costs us $30, then the other $20 will stay in the department, stay in the village budget.
$50 an hour doesn't pay for 2 officers.
No,
It's
per hour.
$50 each
Per
officer.
hour.
Per hour.
$50, okay,
Per
that's more
officer.
like it would be, yeah, because of the benefits are 45% on top of their hourly
Yeah,
rate.
right.
Per officer.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so maybe we should set similar request.
We need to, without question.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mary
Right, you
Jane.
got that? Anthony, is that on you?
Sure.
All right, Aaron, do me a favor, hook up with Anthony on that to, again, I'm more concerned that we have the proper security in the village with these hundreds of people that are gonna be here. Thousands possibly.
Is it gonna be thousands, you think?
Well,
They think there's 400 riders.
400
Yeah.
riders.
Okay.
So then there's 400 riders, plus participants, plus guests, plus this. So yeah, there can easily be over 1,000.
Okay.
Any other comments?
I would suggest that you're going to have some police officers for security. Yes. I'm suggesting that you bring in part-timers just for the flow of traffic and people leaving.
Yeah.
If you're drinking, you would have some security on the roads.
They are limiting how much you can be served. I think it was 2 beers.
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with having extra part-times on that and they'll pay for it. You know, you can have a couple of pops before you come to the event, and then you get
Also
to
bring
more.
your own,
You can bring your, yeah, a couple of things.
saying to allow alcohol.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is,
Prohibiting
one,
outside alcohol.
no one has a problem with us actually approving this, but what we're gonna do is we are gonna go back to the group and just ask that, clarify exactly what we're talking about, security for the beer area, as well as basic security for the
I
event.
asked the chief what he thinks.
And I've already emailed them that I have problems with volunteer monitors.
Volunteer monitors are fine if there are a couple, I have no problem with that actually. I have no problem if they have a couple of, they already said they're gonna have a couple of real monitors.
Well, just if the
Right, so if we have one or two monitors working the crowd along with the volunteers, I don't think there's gonna be a problem.
Well, there needs to be something going on inside this
Right.
cordoned off area.
All right, Aaron, Anthony is going to follow up on this and work with Aaron to finalize everything. But we need to, is there a problem proving either one of these things tonight so the group can move forward?
I have no problem with it.
Okay.
We come to security meets. that
Right.
we require.
Yeah.
All right, so I need authorization to sign the landlord authorization form. Do I have a motion?
You do?
Second.
All's in favor?
I-
Opposed? And we need to extend the approval to include the 24th and 26th for setup and breakdown. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just real quick, going back on the bike ride,
Yes.
2 beers per person at a time. It's not just one.
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, what's the writing on that? I like it.
Every 10 minute, 2 beers at a time.
How many shots?
I thought that's what it says.
Just checking.
So,
That's a lot.
is that limited by the 2 hands that you have, or is?
That's what it looks
you know
like.
what I mean?
There'll be no trays.
You keep coming back, okay. Yeah, that needs. a
All right, so
little-
check that language with the group. Only because it's my understanding that they're giving this to the participants, right? They're not selling it because that's part of their payment.
Part of their registration.
So if I was that group, I'd limit them to one. But
Well, it
that's
seems
me.
like that's just participants,
Yeah.
people that are.
Right, then they're selling those to those people.
We are selling.
Yeah.
Extra
It
people.
is a good, it raises a lot of money.
Well, here's the thing, if it becomes a great event, we can continue to do this on a regular basis. This community is a community of celebrations. So, and when we do this, it shouldn't be just for the cancer ride. We should be learning with each event that we put together to better future events and bring more events to the village, to create more people down here for our businesses, as well as have our own people enjoy these events in our own community. All right, so I think that security issues are good things to bring up, as well as the 2 beers at a time issue. But Anthony will be taking care of that. Proposal from the Rockland Web Design. We're going to, Elise isn't here, we'll see if she has any issues on that still. We're not pushing hardcore forward, because we do have to the end of the year, but I'd like to try and get it done around the summer, so that we're not waiting till November and we can't do it and this, that, the other. Tom's just double checking a few things to iron everything out, to make sure that we can actually do all the different pieces.
Want to see my tables?
We're not gonna do anything tonight on it. Right? Okay, review the grass cutting bids. Questions?
Who got it last year?
Neighbors.
Neighbors was it Neighbors last year?
Has Jenny and Brendan ever had it before?
No.
Have they did that before?
They bid all the time.
I
I've
thought
not won
The
it.
name sounds familiar.
Really? Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like we did.
Yep.
Jane and Steph.
When they send this in, they send like a paper along with exactly what they do this for this land.
All the trucks have their proposals.
I understand that, I was just wondering about.
I'm assuming he's got all the insurance and all the stuff that he needs, so. Okay. You guys want a motion to hire Jane in from Marlboro, New York, to do the last one?
And Gary has reviewed these.
I'm sorry?
Gary Boyce has reviewed them.
I don't know, I saw him today, but I didn't
Oh,
talk.
yeah, he did.
He did.
He sent it.
Okay.
Required insurances.
We have to move those.
No,
We don't, but it will be fiscally imprudent.
yeah, last year, I think we went with the best value last year, didn't we?
Yeah, best value is what we're looking for, but at the same time, best value, if you look at the next
This
bid
is
up,
substantial, yeah.
It's
the next bid up is only $1,500. So that's something that could be considered best value. When you're 4,000
Right.
difference, it's kind of tough to push best value. The only thing we know is that the value we've got in the past where we like what we've,
Right.
you know, and they're very thorough and they back up their work,
Well, we've never had this guy, so he could be as thorough.
or better.
Yeah, so. You certainly, a good number.
Mm-hmm. I'll motion to have Jane in.
Do you have a second?
You do?
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Okay, we have to wait on the lease for the laws. She's on her way. We'll move into new business. Approve the minutes for the regular board meeting April 4, 2016, and the budget meeting April 11, 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
So,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll go into, I have at least two reports. We'll start with the EDC. Barbara Minetti. Barbara, come on over here. Over here.
Okay, could I sit?
You can sit over, why don't you sit over here just so you're facing the camera?
Yeah, and actually, I'd like to read
Grab
it.
that chair up there.
I wrote it out today because I haven't given one the past couple of months, and it's kind of specific and detailed, so I'll
Barbara, can you just
stay.
like this so that you can speak up, so they can get it?
So we get it on the camera.
The mic's not the mic.
That mic's not that good, so
Oh.
can I ask you to speak up a little bit?
You get a loud.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will try. Okay, anyway, my report tonight is specific, so I actually wrote it out just so I'll stay on track. So if you bear with me, it's big print, but I'm just gonna go through it this way and we can take it from there. Okay, I would like to report on the status of the EDC considerations for improving the viability of the business corridor to foster self-sustaining viability for us. In other words, I'm focusing on the business corridor, which I'm defining from Thayer all the way down Main Street, where we hook into 9W, and then from West Point Highway all the way up to Mountain Avenue, and, you know, surrounding business corridor. Okay, we are developing a mission statement, which I'll read. The purpose of the Village Economic Development Corporation Business Corridor is to make improvements that will roll our community forward with prosperity for residents and businesses. One specific aspect focuses on the business corridor, as I said, although there are other prongs that are going on. This corridor, as I just explained, the area, I won't do that again. Although the EDC for Business, or EDC, was established to focus on the village, planning and execution will include a vision that brings together the whole town of Highlands, the village, Fort Montgomery, West Point, and part of Bear Mountain. We will consider, for example, our Native American history, early settlement, Revolutionary War histories, natural beauty, the Hudson River, our identity as a college town for West Point, Appalachians, the Appalachian Trail, and how we can create a common identity that will help us all prosper, again, as residents and businesses. Our mission is to provide maximum quality and long-standing benefit for the community with the least obligation of village taxpayer money. It is a goal to obtain donations, government or nonprofit grants, engage in partnerships with businesses that offer community development grants and services, or combine local and outside financial resources. Our goal is to provide improvements with minimal funding from village public resources. Right now, here's where we stand. We do not have a treasurer or an accountant, both of which are necessary to receive and disperse funds. Also, we need seed money to support startup matters, a post office box, a website, open a bank account. The lack of 501(c) status limits our ability to achieve important goals. Right now, we are focusing on seeking partnerships. For example, there's now a permanent relationship with Home Depot to renovate and maintain Memorial Park. They're going to be renovating the gazebo, adding to the fountain, providing plants every year. Kathy Keene, resident and new member of the EDC, arranged this partnership, and graciously Visions has accepted the sponsorship of it. And these partnerships are indeed very wonderful, and will continue to do that, reaching out to and working with all the local groups. But the EDC B, I'll call it, has already identified significant goals that require different types of funding. We are identifying goals based on previous comprehensive plans that have been made in 1967, 77, 81, 82, and 2007. Many of those plans are very consistent and still needed and very viable. So we're not just starting from scratch spinning wheels. Okay, so to qualify for these grants, we need to transition, if possible, amend our current registry and status to qualify for 501(c) charitable status. To do this, as far as I understand, and I am not probably totally even knowledgeable of everything, but it is possible to amend and submit a request to change to become this status. If we do, we need to clarify that the EDCB is dedicated to matters that are necessary to sustain the viability of the community. We must argue that the EDCB is organized and operates solely for charitable purposes under a broad definition. And I've done some reading. There are rulings that support this. For example, there are rulings that a status can be achieved to relieve and rehabilitate community deterioration and depressions, economic depressions in a community. Relieve the poor and distressed, even indirectly through increased employment opportunities. Lessen the likelihood of drugs, and there are other rulings. Another ruling I saw was lessen the burden of local government and the taxpayers, which we definitely have to do. Our taxpayers are tapped out. And as I heard in a previous meeting, even the village board is tapped out on daily matters, and one of the reasons this EDC was created is to supplement and complement that. So there are priorities to develop the community that go beyond the ability of public funding through taxes or bond payments. And for that reason, we would greatly benefit from 501(c) status if at all possible. In other words, some of these partnerships even require 501(c) status. We can reach out to our local organizations, volunteer groups to accept sponsorship like Visions has done, but some of these are on a much greater scale than a volunteer group would want to achieve. And some of them I personally see as complementing infrastructure things that have been talked about for a very long time. It would boost the timing at which we can move forward with improvements. It would enable us to move village interests in tandem with other infrastructure changes and with other goals. For example, the EDC was created for other goals besides the business corridor. And if those changes happen, we need to have our business corridor ready for them so we can benefit. And we also want to be able to move with an overall strategic plan rather than just piecemeal one at a time. And this can all be done at a with much greater quality and benefit if we have that status. It's not a clear-cut thing. In the rulings I've read, some are approved and some are not approved, so it has to be thought out and worded carefully. Now, what we have done, where we sort of stand right at the moment, we have been at work. We have prepared a questionnaire to canvass businesses, volunteer organizations, and individuals to develop an overall priority list or a picture. The list will be boiled down to long and short-term goals, expensive and inexpensive plans, complicated and simple ones. It's going to take some time, but we're already underway in figuring out how to do it. We want to have focus groups and probably first work with either the businesses or the volunteer groups. Have them come up in short order, what are their, say, biggest two priorities. And then be able to work together. We see the EDC as sort of a hub and spoke mechanism to improve communication and thereby our ability to function. Here are the 4 questions we've identified. What is the most important improvement that should be made to enhance the quality and success in the business corridor of the village? What other specific improvements should be made in this corridor? The improvements can be simple ones, completed in a short amount of time, or complex ones that require several years to complete. 3, what types of businesses do residents of the town need? And then what types of businesses would attract visitors? As I mentioned, our goal is to work with existing groups. And then,
Could I interrupt 1 second?
Sure.
Barbara, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but as a capstone project at West Point, the firsties did a survey of the wants and needs of the West Point community and specifically the Cadet Corps. So in looking at it from our outside of the gate perspective, you could,
thank you,
compare and
absolutely.
contrast.
We're trying to gather in all information. So great. At this point, Elaine Dapra, who I would like to thank, has canvassed 3rd graders and high school students. And if you like, I can give you, well, here are the questions. The 3rd graders were asked, what did they like about town? What did they dislike? And what would they like the town to have that it doesn't already have? Okay, that's the 3rd graders, and we have some good ideas. They'd like an arcade, a bigger pool, programs at the library after school. They did not like the too much goose poop at Roe Park, or bears.
or bears.
Last summer. And then the high school students were asked, what does the future of Highland Falls look like to you? And we got positives, negatives in the category of business, perception and crime, appearance, and then this and that. Good, really astute comments. So I'd also like to thank Visions and Kathy Keene for the work underway on the Memorial Park project. Where that stands at the moment is that our representatives from Home Depot have sent it to their corporate offices to come up with a design. And we'll hear back on that, and then when we all have a chance to look at that, the original goal, hopefully it will happen, is to have that done by West Point graduation. So, time is ticking, but we'll see. So that's pretty much,
The original goal was to have it done by now.
yeah, well, it's,
The thing could push back, but it's an aggressive goal, and I think that I'm glad they're staying with it.
yeah, we're sticking with it, and that's where it stands at the moment. So, you know, it's good to have an aggressive goal, and we'll see if it can get done, but it will get done. Just throwing a couple of the high school ideas. Police need to be more involved with students in a positive way. Perception and crime, I think, is important. There are bad people and drugs. Downtown has a Baltimore feel, not safe. Park is scary at night. Drug abuse. So, on the positive side, they like Pied Piper pies. New businesses have opened. So there's a good balance here. So that's what I've written down. We also have now a running list of the types of priorities from groups and individuals and businesses. So let's get started.
Nice work.
Great. Is the EDC talking to the building inspector?
Yes, we've done that, and gotten a good understanding. I think what I had mentioned at our last meeting is, for one thing, we need to educate ourselves about the codes. What is and what isn't there. I don't want to be a group that complains, and to me, to educate ourselves is one of the first things. Are there codes? If not, do we need a code? We need to come forward. We need to work with the planning board, the village board, and present our ideas. One thing, just feedback that is mentioned to me is that from the inspector's point of view, is that there needs to be teeth he says he can do what he can do when there are teeth in the codes. He's limited by, he feels like what action he can take is limited by, what teeth there are. So,
We've given him a lot of teeth over the last 3 years. He's
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
well, he's new.
yeah,
For those that don't know, Bruce Zoiliger is now taking over as building inspector. Though he's been here for several years, he is now in charge. He has actually made several moves, supported by the board. And that's why 3 years ago and 2 years ago, we revisited several different things of adding laws, and not so much adding laws, but tweaking them so that we did give him teeth, and that's key.
yeah.
And he's doing, I get calls from him all the time.
Yeah.
Fire
you do.
safety side, fire safety
Yes, you
issues that
do.
he's on top of. And I never used to get those calls years ago.
Yeah.
So he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and I think one idea we had come up with, which for the community and residents I think is important, there is a copy of the village code in the library.
And online.
Yes, and online, actually, yes.
On the village website.
And so if people want to participate by becoming educated and making comments, at least I can't speak for him, but my feeling was that they would be welcome. Participation in that way.
Good to go.
Thank you so much.
Aaron,
Appreciate it.
did you have anything? Did you have anything? No? Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I have something on here I'm waiting for you guys.
You get one shot. I don't understand what you're talking about.
That's on you,
Give
though.
him a second shot.
All right.
Give him one.
All right.
I don't follow the rules, remember?
Actually, I do know that. All right. Resolution to re-levy unpaid water bills for May and November. Whereas the village of Highland Falls has 160 delinquent water accounts in the amount of $38,982.26 remaining unpaid, including late fees and charges from May and November 2015 water billing. Now therefore be it resolved that no further payment will be accepted after April 11th, 2016, and any and all unpaid water accounts for the year 2015 will be re-levied onto the 2016-17 village taxes. Be it further resolved that once this resolution is passed, any property owners may request the reconnection of their water service. The adoption of the foregoing resolution was moved by Trustee Murphy and seconded by Trustee Farina. Roll call.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Auer?
Aye.
Trustee Farina?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye. We have an event form, Little League Ponytail Opening Day Parade, April 23rd. Really wide window, 8:45 to 10:15. Any questions on that? Aaron, did you want to comment?
Last meeting, we had brought up the idea of routing them up Mountain Avenue. I talked with Ken Scott, and Ken Scott says whatever we want to do as far as going down and going up Walnut Avenue, if that's what we want to do, he supports that, and he'll make sure the roads get closed.
Well, I think the whole point of going up Mountain Avenue is not to interfere with the torch run, correct?
It was, but he hadn't seen any paperwork saying that that's what they were doing.
I believe we have paperwork here tonight.
Well, they issued a press release, I think we got it through the newspaper, that it's, the torch run is at 9:20 in the morning.
Yeah, let's not play any games here.
We'll go up Mountain
I
Avenue.
like your thought about going up Mountain Avenue.
Can't they go West Point Highway?
They are going West Point Highway, but they still could cross
Yeah,
on
between Walnut
between
and
West Point Highway and
But
Walnut,
in two separate lanes,
which means closing off the entire road.
for a very short time.
We're much better off just going up Mountain Avenue, letting them come down West Point Highway and not closing off that whole area. Is that okay with you?
whatever you decide.
Really? Because you sound like, not so much.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay, you sure? All right, I would also, I would like to thank Trustee Farina. He's been pushing for this for 3 years and working together with Little League, Ponytail, and Erin. I think this is gonna be a great event, and I wanna thank you for making that happen, sticking it out.
Wait,
Now, do we have to go back to Chief Scott on this?
No.
I spoke with him. I
We
mean,
don't-
I don't know if you guys have.
It's
to, but I
our,
spoke with him.
it's the board's pleasure, Gina.
I have the question, when you go up mountain, are you gonna go all the way up Wyandotte, or are you gonna go over Fostoria?
Wyandotte.
All the way up to Wyandotte?
Yeah, make it easy.
Just one of these.
Well, it's up to us.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
I like Walnut better.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Say no then. I'll vote yes, and we'll go up now and down.
All right, I'm voting no because I want to go up Walnut.
For safety.
Well, yeah, it just seems a little more forthright.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
Charlie, I'm gonna give you 15 more seconds.
No,
Tell us what
Convince us.
forthright means to you.
oh,
Correct.
you know, more direct, a little more formal. You know, we go down our roads versus Mountain Avenue, which I think is a state road, and,
We're on a state road.
218,
yeah.
218 is a state road, Charlie.
Yeah.
You can't get away from it.
Okay.
I understand both arguments. I hate to interfere with the Special Olympics, Ron.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that
At the same time.
it's absolutely at the same time.
We'll make the best out of it, that's all.
Okay, Mountain Avenue.
Maybe they can open a fire bay and throw every siren
Pardon?
at once. Maybe they, as we walk by, the fire department can have their bays open and
Respect
this.
just blast the sirens for a
the
while.
fire department and the troops.
Okay.
Let's approve the event. And we'll allow the police to deal with the route day of. It's not like they plan things
Well,
out.
that's true, yeah. and
It's
they-
not like everything's gonna set 3 days, a week before. So that morning, you know, we get an eye on the torch when they're coming through. If we don't feel it's gonna, Walnut is the better road. We're only going to Mountain Avenue to avoid messing with the
They
torch.
may be through by the time.
They might be
Monterey
through, they
goes.
might not even be
They're
in
estimating
town,
920.
right? So
Could be.
let's let the police deal with the route day of. It's not a big deal for them to change from Walnut to Mountain if need be. All right?
Okay.
Also,
Charlie, you okay with that?
Yes.
Because I don't want to make this move.
No, no, I'm fine.
The look on your face
No,
was
no,
upsetting me. You're sure?
I'm sure.
All right, do I have a motion?
I trust that it will work out, and I bet we go up Walnut.
They're starting it, you know what, they're
It's
starting.
3-1, betting is going to
They're
3-1.
They're starting it rated at 920. We could be going up Walnut, but.
Well, if they're, and that's the other thing, if they're starting it right at 9:20, that means they're really starting at 9:40. We'll already be past that by then, and there's no reason why we can't say, give us 3 more minutes, we're almost done. So we'll deal with that day of. If it becomes a major issue, we go up Mountain Avenue. Okay?
Works for me.
Sold American.
Yes,
All those in favor?
aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Done. Fall Foliage Festival.
No.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hold on, Aaron. Are you leaving, or are you leaving?
I'm on to the next thing.
Okay, 1 second. Just so we're aware, I know there's some confusion of ownership and policy when it comes to Little League field. But, to my knowledge, it's a village field. Just to my knowledge. Not that you guys can't do whatever you want. But, let's do everything by the book. It's also my understanding that we, couple of Utes went for a donation and got it for a flagpole, which we are trying to erect prior to opening day, which will be this week. The purchase has already gone through the town, and they will reimburse the fund next week, or in a week or so when the grant comes through. So I need to make a motion, because this is actually a change in, we just can't have people erecting things in the village without the village board approving it. So this is just something when, whether it's a good thing or not, people have to understand it needs to come through the board. We're not gonna, no, you can't erect a flagpole. We've needed a real flagpole for years. They've been doing everything they can to keep a flag up, haven't had a real flagpole. So, I just wanted you to stay, because most people will come to Erin on a lot of these things, and we need to know that it's not, we're saying no, the board needs to approve these things. So I'm asking the board for approval to erect a flagpole at the Little League field and at Roe Park. They got grants for both.
Hallelujah.
Gary Boyce has already been contacted as to where they need to be placed, whether they're up by opening day,
Where are they going to Lilyfield, Centerfield?
that's where we were told.
What about Road?
The two spots that were primary was right at the basketball, the corner of the basketball
Between
in
that
center
and the
field.
playground?
Well, right near the basketball so that nobody runs into it,
Well, yeah,
We
there's
don't
a
want it in the middle of the
cutout there
field,
that
right.
they're going.
for someone to run into the pole, so it's gonna be closer to the, but we're gonna let Gary feel it out, and if any, actually, I'm gonna let Anthony work with Gary to confirm both spots, so that we have board, input.
That's great, because every 4th of July, I've been looking around for the
Right.
flag, and it hasn't been there, so that's a wonderful project.
We wanna thank, we would like to thank DUSA and the West Point Women's Club, they're the two organizations that the boys went to ask for the money.
And do we know who the youths are?
We do,
Do they not, are they?
they're my sons.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't really wanna say that, but they're my sons. But I just wanted to stay so that, the big thing is like a couple of years ago, there was a huge project on the Little League field. And a lot of donations came in, they put a sprinkler system in. The youth board, the Little League board has been doing a phenomenal job, not just keeping it up, but moving it forward. I just wanna make sure that moving forward, the village board not only approves what's going on, but gets involved possibly to help with either DPW help. There's a lot of bad trash behind the home field into the woods. It was a dumping area, like serious construction stuff that needs to come out. They can't do that. So these are things that we need to get involved in as a village and look in that back area and see what can be done to improve that area. So,
Not just that, it's also safety, because naturally, 9 to 12-year-olds are gonna go into the woods and walk around. You don't want them tripping over an old basketball hoop and pole that's back there.
And that is on village property?
yes. It's all, there's technically 5 acres back behind that area that's village. So again, that's something that we need to look at
To work with the second field.
after we build the community center. But I just wanted you to know that, because again, this, the partnership and the fact that Aaron is continuously, whether it's coming to the department head meetings or coming to the board meetings, is a great transition so that, we can give him our parks as soon as possible. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got it? As long as he's tenured, because they're gonna kill me for saying that.
You didn't finish your motion.
All those in favor?
You didn't get a motion or a
I
second.
got a motion from Anthony, do I have a second?
Oh, a second?
Second from Charlie? Sorry about that, Gina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I wanna thank my boys for going after that, it was a good thing.
You too.
And thank the Little League Board for supporting it. All right, we need to approve St. John's Community Yard Sale barbecue in the municipal lot. This is a rescheduling, not a new event.
We approved the first one.
We
right?
did, this is just rescheduling, all those in favor?
Aye. Oh,
You have more on that date?
Conflict on
Huh?
the date?
We do more things on that? date?
23rd.
I know, well, they're there so that we can eat prior to, we're gonna tell them that they're not there
I think
at
it's
9
10.
o'clock.
I think it was 10.
Well, then we just start later and then we definitely miss the torch run. Yeah,
What time do they start?
I had it. Hold on.
The barbecue or the pork chop?
Oh, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
11.
so they'll be there all day so we can walk down and get some nice barbecue
Yeah.
during the Little League festivities.
Oh, it's food at Lilyfield.
Easy, I know that, but no one's gonna leave Little
I'm
League
kidding.
field.
I'm kidding.
I need a motion.
I make the motion. Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I need a request for travel for trustee Allward, trustee Mellon, treasurer McGrada to go to NICOM training school, May 1st and 2nd at a cost of $600 to $700 per person. They are only staying the one night, because it's a 3 to 4 day event at times. They're only staying one night to maximize the class time without maximizing the money. Questions? No? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Trustee Farina, trustee Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So move. Resolution for budget amendment, whereas $26,769.21 of federal tax refund has been received from Department of the Treasury, and whereas this refund is due to an overpayment of federal taxes for the year end December 31st, 2015, due to a 207C designation of an injured employee. Now therefore be it resolved that due to a refund from the Department of Treasury, the Board of Trustees approved an amendment to increase the appropriation budget A 1990.1990 contingency for $26,769.21 and revenue code A-2680 insurance recoveries for $26,769.21 for fiscal year 2015-16. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Trustee Mellon?
Aye.
Trustee Alward?
Aye.
Trustee Farina?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye. I have a budget transfer from contingency to eternity contingency contractual of $10,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to transfer the funds.
Do I have a second? Second, trustee Farina. All those in favor? Opposed? Do I have a motion to accept the bills and claims for the fiscal year 15-16 in the amount of $61,815.82?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we need a motion for the meeting on the 27th, or do we just acknowledge that, Gina? Budget
The 20
adoption,
The 25th? Is it
4/27?
25, right?
25.
Monday is the 25th?
Right, Ed just came in, that's why I'm asking if we need to motion it. Ed came in and said he needs 10 days.
You already said it at the last meeting to be on the 25th
At 8:30 in the
at
morning.
8:30 in the morning,
On Monday,
Monday.
we're moving it to Wednesday. So he has 10 days, because it's a legal thing. That's what I'm asking. Do you want me to
Yes,
get him up
because
there?
you already did it 25th, so redo it for the 27th.
That's
then.
why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only reason we're changing it is because legally it's supposed to be 10 days.
Is 10
Same
days for
time?
the adoption of the tentative budget, is that it?
I
I think that's
believe
what
so.
Yeah, okay,
That's why it's Wednesday, not Monday.
okay.
Same time?
That's what I'm asking.
First
So
thing in
it'll
the
be
morning.
Monday, or Wednesday, 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Sure.
8 o'clock?
Right
8
now.
o'clock.
Bright and early.
6.
Easy killer. Do I have a motion? And I apologize for the change, I just got that about 10
That's
minutes
the
ago.
27th?
4/27, 2016, 8 AM, Village Hall. Do I have a motion?
Notice that.
Yes,
I'll make the
as
motion.
best I can.
Move the date to the 27th.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Does someone have the bills in front of them?
Yeah.
Going back to the introductory local law. And the Marina Land. Elise, talk to us. Educate us, enlighten us, enjoy the room.
So, the introductory local law, what, on what?
I thought you told me you were at a law.
No.
We need to go in
that's-
exec first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought- that's what I thought too, I wasn't-
Something else.
All right, let's talk
Okay.
Marina Land.
My mistake. My mistake then.
It's okay. You make mistakes.
Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's, I wasn't sure either, I
Deer in the
apologize.
headlights.
Elise
Yeah.
springing.
Yeah. Hey,
Marina, you have anything from the Marina?
you want an update on,
I don't know if you had anything.
there's a public hearing this Thursday.
Okay,
it will go forward, the subdivision, so I've cleared the planning board to approve it based on what I've received from the applicant in terms of.
Are you talking about the marina, or you talking about the ALO property?
I'm talking about the Elo property.
Okay, I was talking about the marina.
Okay, well, what about the?
I have no idea, so I'll give you an update on that. You
Okay,
talk about
because
the ALO property.
Wait,
What's?
wait.
Okay,
Let me focus, 71, here I am. What are we doing, ALO or Marina?
ALO.
ALO, okay.
Elo, so that's, I
Give 'em a
thought
minute
that's
to adjust.
what you wanted because
Elo.
it's down.
Right.
No, I just want to make sure.
Okay, and that's, do you wanna know anything else about that?
No,
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I was
Good
not
times.
aware of that.
Good times.
I know that their attorney is coming.
Time's up.
We'll talk about it. Just to give you an update on the marina property, I know I've talked to one or two people.
Marina.
I re-talked to Carla Burns, she's all about selling, so is the gentleman who owns the marina. There are 2 slippers, not one, that are in front of the marina property. We thought that one small piece was owned by West Point, it is not. It is owned by Corps of Engineers, which, you know, the West Point's like, oh, we don't own it. So how do you not know the Corps of Engineers owns it when Corps of Engineers owns Lady Cliff, not West Point? Just found that out from the assessor, according to the assessor. So, I've contacted the Corps of Engineers, and there are 2 pieces, which doesn't make any sense, so we have to look at it further. When we went down there, it looked like a piece about as big as this portion of the room. And on the assessor's piece of paper, it says 3.2 acres. I'm assuming that's all underwater at this point. Then there's another piece, a little further out, which definitely is underwater because there's nothing there. But they own both pieces. The one is for $30,000, the other one is marked, I think, about $10,000. And the Corps of Engineers person who answered the phone was more than willing to sell us the land.
A question though, it was my understanding that underwater lands reverted to the state. Can the Army Corps, by virtue of being federal, preempt that?
I don't think they know, I don't think they have any idea what's there, because West
This is land
Point,
that has been, that used to be.
part of Lady Cliff. This was all part of Lady Cliff.
And now it's underwater?
Well, this is all new to me. They only used this small piece about this big because they used it for, what I'm told, by the historians of the river, that's where the oil tank was that came up for Lady Cliff. So that was their tank down on the river, they would fill it up, boom, Lady Cliff had oil. When the Corps of Engineers bought Lady Cliff, those pieces came along with it. So it wasn't like they were looking for them, and West Point didn't even know they were there, when the Corps of Engineers and West Point are 2 different entities. So I'm just giving you an update that we now know who actually owns the land. It will not affect the village taxes. One of the parts of the EDC is working on the marina, and they're actually getting, we're getting some steam right now. We've brought together 5 or 6 different groups, and they're working on locating the money, as well as our first grant, which will be giving us the money for a plan. Things are moving along very well. That's Jim Maudlin's in charge of that piece, and but I wanted to give you guys an update. You know, we now know who owns the land. That's all. Any further discussion of underwater, top water, let's let the study deal with it and the people that know what they're doing. We'll come back with a report. We don't need to really go through that here until we actually know what the deal is.
So this is under the Hudson River, so it's under navigable water. I don't know that.
And we don't need to, yeah, and we don't need to deal with it, because you know what, no one's looked at it in 40 years. So no one even knows, as I said, West Point didn't even realize it was there. So,
If you've been reading the ADC, the Defense Communities newsletters,
which we get.
The federal government is encouraging the Army, Navy, and Air Force to get rid of surplus lands. So I would not like to see us purchase
No,
little slivers, but I'm sure they could get some good PR by donating them.
Well, remember that it's not it's not necessarily the government Corps of Engineers' own special entity.
But they're still federal.
I agree. I did bring up the fact that it would be nice if they gave us the land, and she had a real good chuckle about that. But we're still gonna ask for it for free. Either or, it won't be coming out of tax money, it'll be coming out of the partial grant. When we're looking at close to $1 million for the other two pieces, or eight to 900,000 for the other two pieces, an extra 30 or 40, I don't think is gonna make that much of a difference if we have to. Bottom line is, we don't want that holding us up from moving forward on a full marina project, which would be massive for the community. Anyway, quick update, moving on. Boom, boom. Any other questions, any other comments, any other points to be made? Any comments by our visitors? No? With that, I would ask to go, no, see, Barbara, you gotta get in time. Next meeting, 2 weeks. What would you like, Barbara?
No, it is for further discussion, but my whole, bringing up the issue of 501c3 status, we'll need help legally with this, because we have an EDC that now has 3 prongs to it.
Right, and just to be clear, so yeah, nobody, just so no one's, the EDC is gonna get the 501c3.
Right.
Not the ECB or M or
Right,
anything. So
exactly.
those are just committees within the Economic Development Corporation.
Yeah.
The Economic Development Corporation will be finishing out the paperwork we've already started to
Okay.
become a 501c, and we will be moving on that shortly.
All right.
So, but just so, Barbara actually did a very good thing, which was make sure we have clear that we identified 3 different major projects that we're working on. So she's calling it EDC B for the business corridor, EDC M for the marina, and EDC A for the ALO property. Just so that it's more distinguishable, so people understand. But these are all committees within the EDC. And with that, I would ask to go into executive session for negotiations and specific individuals in a personnel matter. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.